Bitcoin hoodie guy coming back with another Kaspa video. Here we are. Before we get into it, could you please Mike Tyson the like and subscribe button? Almost to 4,000 subscribers. I appreciate everyone that's ever subscribed and everyone that tunes in. I'm humbled and thank you very much. Now let's dive into the meat and potatoes. Kaspa 15.3 cents. Market's down. It is what it is. So, it's that chance where I saw some meme that said that Bitcoin's the pumpiest, right? Or the dumpiest right before it's the pumpiest. So, everything's chugging along, 93% on Rust nodes. And so the question today is to KRC-20 or not. Now, most likely people will, once it's live, they'll probably be putting a little bit of their money in there. See, when I'm making an investment now, I'm trying to look at like, okay, I have Kaspa. Do I think that my investment in a KRC-20 is going to outperform Kaspa? Now, if you're just putting a very small bag in there and just kind of like a little bit of a lottery ticket, is kind of the way I'm looking at some of these KRC-20 tokens. So it'll be a very small percentage of my portfolio. That's my risk tolerance, basically for someone that is, risky enough to put like 90% into crypto, but even then I'm not going into meme coins that heavy and stuff like that. But there's a lot of cool stuff going on. So let me know what your KRC-20 plan is. Are you just going to dip your toes in the water? For me, it'll be a small position, but at the same time, I want to support the network and play around and, maybe you'll make a little bit of money and be able to buy some more Kaspa with some of these projects. There's going to be some that are probably rug pulls. That's, there's not that many out there now, but most likely, and even when they're a legit team. So right here, someone posted just kind of a side note here. Thanks to Bubblegum Lightning for bugging hashtag, which is Jonathan Saplinski. The later posted about smart contracts on Discord. So I don't know if this is the old post. So Bubblegum Lightning keeps nudging me about smart contracts. So I'm hereby joining the discussion in order to appease him, which I deem a decent justification for smart contracts on Kaspa. The implementation of smart contracts on Kaspa Layer 1 is a moderate challenge compared to what people tend to assume. Nothing in DAG is dramatically challenging here. Like Bitcoin, Kaspa L1 scripting language should focus on verification, not computation. Accordingly, smart contracts should take place on vanilla rollups. By vanilla rollup, I'm referring to a design where all transactions are published fully on chain, yet computed only by rollup provers, and where anyone at the time can assume that the role of a rollup prover. Other designs exist, e.g. rollups with centralized sequencers on ETH, and those L2 designs with naturally being able to this architecture. I'm merely laying out my terminology. Fortunately, Kaspa L1 supporting this seems to entail merely one additional opcode, and indeed, most of the heavy lifting is and has been done by ZK-L2 teams for ETH and recently for BTC. This opcode design compromises two orthogonal aspects. One, choice of Stark system with a goal of being inclusive while keeping the efforts focused. I propose Ilya and someone else lead the discussion on that. Entails choosing a Stark spec to implement and integrate into Rusty. Second, tailoring the DAG ordering to the prover API. The ordering is part of the prover's public input. I have a solid design for this part, which I discussed and will continue to discuss with Roma, who I believe can lead the architecture effort of this. Additionally, architecture aspects exist, i.e. dealing with reorgs, more challenging and less straightforward than UTXO case, can be done with state diffs. Not sure yet on what levels, Patricia Tree or machine level straight representation, Michael Sutton, i.e. composability between different L2s, very important. Supporting smart contracts Kaspa and having active smart contract system on Kaspa are two different things. There are lots of additional aspects to this effort outside of the core backend tech upgrade. To name a few, SDK of state handling of smart contract development, migration of ETH ecosystem smart contracts to Kaspa, bridges from and to Kaspa to enable liquidity migration, liquidity for Kaspa smart contracts. Apart from marketing efforts, which are above my pay grade, liquidity is the name of the game. Liquidity, collateral, DeFi functionality. All this refers to implementing the simple smart contract concept that is prevailing in crypto. My own smart contract design is outside of the scope of the discussion. It's still in stealth mode and can be built atop the same infrastructure and architecture. So that's good to see. I guess that looks like was from today on Discord. We're not relying on ETH for the short term or long term. Further asked how the Kaspa Economic Foundation can support these efforts. I'm grateful for the initiative and willingness to help. Currently, the bottleneck is time and focus. I'm submerged in research, CAS DK, and the MEV auctions, new smart contract design, KIP9 research. So my availability is very low. And the availability of other core contributors, at least until 10 blocks per second, Rusty, KIP10 are fully behind us. That being said, perhaps starting R&D meeting routine on this can help steer the ship. In terms of resources, to state the obvious, some dev grant could accelerate progress, but I cannot be part of the grant discussion. I'm preoccupied with DK and existing research projects for the next at least 12 to 18 months. Either way, I reiterate the main resources here should be allocated to bridges, liquidities, SDKs. So a lot of exciting stuff in the pipeline. Who knows exactly what's going to be going down. Just kind of got sidetracked. Just saw this post on X about them talking about smart contracts. So it'll be interesting for me. A lot of the KRC-20s is just like any kind of meme coins, new projects. It's exciting because it'll, bring use cases for Kaspa and utility and more demand for the block space. And it'll be a very small amount that I play around with. I don't know your strategy. Maybe you have a more risk tolerance, and I don't know how much liquidity is going to be in here. So yeah, there's some of these projects that do a 50 to 100x. I don't know how much liquidity is going to be in there, so you probably wouldn't be able to do it with a large amount of money, but it's still going to be fun. And Kaspa should have meme coins too. So I'm geared up. I'm excited. Downloaded my my Kasware wallet, so I can play around once it's on mainnet. And, so right here, doesn't seem like, smart contracts aren't going to be happening anytime soon, but there's people working on it. And, for this cycle, if you're planning on selling next year, sometime near the top, can't time it perfect. You just need some of the narratives, to go the right way. Like Cardano peaked out just on the hype of smart contracts last cycle. And then once the smart contracts launched, it still takes months, years for the devs to build all the infrastructure on top of smart contracts. Or with smart contracts, and then the price went down and it's never been back there. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. And I'm excited about KRC-20. I'm only going to mess around with a little bit of money, and let me know if you're going to go in heavy or are you just going to dip your toes in the water and you're excited about the smart contract talk. So that's all I got for today. Let's see. Talking about Discord and hashtag, once I read he is saying that Kaspa will reach 52 billion market cap this bull run. What I understand is that hashtag doesn't care about KRC-20 smart contracts, just the layer one Kaspa network. That seems like that's a little bit in tune with the meetup with Israel in Israel, is that he's really more focused on Kaspa and being able to handle lots of transactions, cheap fees, and avoid the MEV. So that seemed like kind of my gist is that. And then eventually talking about 100 blocks per second, it was that in the discussion. And at least that one in Israel from, earlier this year, I think it was February, seemed like he was real focused on that as his main focus. So, but he can kick the ball to someone else's court, and he could, maybe some of those people can get going on the smart contracts. And it's a lot of theory being thrown around exactly. But for this cycle, I don't think smart contracts are going to happen. If they do, it'd be at the very end of the cycle, but they most likely probably won't happen before this cycle top. And that's fine. There's people that have been in ETH for a long time, multiple cycles. It just depends on your game plan. For me, I'll probably keep some of my Kaspa, but a lot of it I'll probably try to sell next year sometime. And that's just my strategy. Not the right way to go. But yeah, I think there's a lot of exciting development. And in my mind, Kaspa is still just a little baby walking around. And the first domino that's going to fall is once all the nodes are running Rust from there, then there's still a lot of work left to get the 10 blocks per second, but you need, each domino, each puzzle piece needs to be put into the puzzle first. So it's going to be exciting. So let me know what you think. Are you going to mess around with KRC-20 tokens? And do you think that there's a chance that smart contracts could happen this cycle? And if not, are you just going to basically hold your Kaspa into the next cycle? So thanks for watching and have a good day.